thing I know about you is that you have ambition to be great. My job is to coach you to get all that greatness out of you.
What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one. I actually didn't intend to go live today. I was going to wait till tomorrow. By the way, that Channing Tindall prospect profile, expect that on Friday. But we got some stuff we got to talk about. But mainly, I need to clear the air for the second day in a row over the Big O interview. And what I mean by that is, now people are talking about him golfing on game day. And I know specifics of this. So I'm going to tell y'all what I know. If you're a Patreon, you already saw it. If you're, you saw it earlier today, you got that post. But now I'm going to bring it out to all of you guys. I was like, you know what? Let's go live. Let's tell the people what I know. Patriots have already known it for more than almost 12 hours right now. So, about like 10 or something like that, I think. And so I'm going to go over that with you guys. I'm going to let you guys know exactly what the deal is, exactly why it's the deal the way it is, everything. I'm going to let y'all know everything I know about it, okay? It's a deep-rooted issue. It's deeper than him golfing on game day. People need to realize that it's deeper than him golfing on game day. Okay, this is something he had never done before, and this is something he had never done since, and there was a reason why he did it. All right, and the fact that I have to come out here and actually talk about Tua golfing and why he's golfing and what he is, the fact that we've gotten to this point is just ridiculous, like unbelievable. Because again, people are now trying to tie this into the work ethic. Everyone saw me kill the work ethic whole scenario, but now they're trying to throw it to the golfing, but you're wrong. Again, people who don't know what they're talking about coming out here and talking about it. Okay, and I know what, because I don't know what else to tell you. I know what's going on. I'm decently plugged into that camp. All right, I know what goes on. All right, I've said this before. I've had family members hit me up. I know the people that I know in terms of the training with him, photographers. You know what I mean? Like I'm decently plugged into people that are around him. All right, so I don't know what else to say. And family members, because, I've had cousins reach out because they like how this channel, I spit the facts about Tua. I don't drag this kid through the mud for no freaking reason. They know I support Tua, but I also keep it as objective as I can with Tua. And that's just what it is. And let's be honest, me, Doug, and TD run this shit when it comes to YouTube. So that's just what it is. So obviously I'm going to go on the radar, and I've been on the radar since before I even had 5,000 subscribers. Like I've told y'all before, and I'll tell y'all this again. It doesn't matter if you have 1 subscriber. It doesn't matter if you have 10 subscribers. It doesn't matter if you have 100 or 1,000 or 10 or 10,000 or 100,000. People in this community watch. All right. That's just how it works. I've known this since 2019 when I was just a guy on TD, and I started TD Fins Talk doing panels, and I started people from in and around the team started reaching out to me, and I started just talking to people, not plugged in. I'm not talking about sorts and stuff. I'm just talking about like talking to people connected to the team. And, I was told that early on they watch. So that's why when all these people are out here dragging Nick Hicks and taking shots at Nick Hicks, people watch, people know. And that, hey, you guys buried yourself with Tua's trainer, and you better in QB1. I didn't do that. You know what I mean? So the same thing with if you're going to personally attack players, be prepared. That's all. That's what it is. You know what I mean? That's literally just what it is. So, I've just tried to be as objective with Tua the player, the evaluation as possible. Obviously, I believe in the player. I believe in the ceiling. but the person's an absolutely fantastic, out of this world person, fantastic person. So, I just don't understand. I don't understand. And now we're getting to now people want to attack this kid so badly. Now we're going into golf and what he does with his spare time. What he does with his spare time is now people think like, man, the day this guy starts dating a girl, I mean, all of these people, like, you can't even let my quarterback breathe for an offseason. He outlived the Watson stuff. He outlived the dysfunctional offensive staff. He outlived the dysfunctional head coach. And now y'all still trying to poke at him. And now you're still trying to tear him down and not just let him breathe. And why can't he just have an offseason to prepare? We've made all these moves. We've done everything. Why can't he just be left alone? Like, is this really too much stuff? And this goes for everyone. Everyone on this team. They put up with the Xavier Howard distractions that we had to put up with. You know what I mean? Like, it goes beyond to the Flores in general distraction. You know what I mean? Like, it's been nothing but drama. The Minka stuff in 2019, it's been nothing but drama since 2019. Why can't we even before two arrived, the drama was real in South Beach. You know what I mean? And then before that, obviously, Bullygate and stuff. Like, let's chill. Like, I'm just trying to freaking, like, just let the man live. Just let Tua breathe. Like, the guys, and are we really going to, people out here questioning work ethic when the guy came back from a hip injury and the guy came back from, the guy played under Saban. You think Saban going to let you be the starting quarterback of the Crimson Tide if you don't have a good work ethic? Stop. Like I said yesterday, stop with the nonsense. All right? So, and I try to explain people. I've talked to, he politely, like, this whole playbook thing, people still talking about this too. Like, again, this man said I didn't know it really, really well. Why do you think he said really twice? Huh? He never said, people say, oh, you didn't know the playbook. When did he say I didn't know the playbook? Like, again, context. And when it's right in front of you, people can't even comprehend it properly. Like, really, really well. Why would I stress really, really? Like, you don't got to be a psychologist major or an English major to grasp this one. It's ridiculous. So it just continues on, and it's like this one big cycle. But I'm gonna tell you all what I know about what happened on the game day golfing nonsense. And then we're gonna start off with that. And then on top of that, I got obviously Sony Michel. He came in and he visited with the Miami Dolphins. I want to talk about that a little bit. Jevon Holland said he, like, pretty much laid it out. He's motivated to take that next step and become a Pro Bowler. So I want to talk about that. And also, there's a real spotlight because obviously there are media availabilities today. And, I'm not going to go over we're not going to watch the media availabilities today because if there's a time, I actually want to get your guys' opinion on what I'm going to talk about today about the golfing and yesterday with the work ethic. I do want to get some of your guys' opinion on that. But anyways, Deiter, continues to be the center, continues to be a topic of discussion. And there's actually 2 articles out on him today regarding that. So I want to look at actually one of them. And then I want to look at a portion of another article regarding him that has nothing to do with them. The portion I want to show you guys because there were there's more UDFAs being invited basically for tryouts into this camp. So I want to show you guys exactly what's going down because there's some more names. Nothing huge, but still my job is to bring you guys the information. You know what it is. So let's start off with this whole situation. By the way, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. Appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. Let's start off with this whole thing, okay? Let's start off with, so I wake up today and all of a sudden the big issue is Tua golfing on game day because Omar had mentioned it in that same clip, that same interview that I showed you a portion of yesterday when I talked about the work ethic stuff. He mentioned, golfing with Cam on game day. right? And like, I know that, a lot of people were stuck on the work ethic and it slipped by. And I didn't even think it needed to be addressed. I thought people already knew this, right? So, well, I didn't think people already knew it, but I didn't think people would think it's this big of a deal. And I guess I should have, because they didn't understand the context, right? If you don't understand the context of the situation, you hear, why is my quarterback, but in the sense of, we didn't even hear this before. What if it was after a game day, right? Like, what if they finished at 4, he was out by 5, and he tried to get it on a back 9 before the sun went down? I don't know. Anyways, moving on here, said, what I understand is this is what went down. Okay. It was the Ravens game. And the thing is, I've actually had 3 people mention this to me. I had someone mention it to me months ago in passing, but not to the detail that the other 2 people told me about. I knew he was golfing when we had him on IR. I knew he was golfing. I knew for a fact he was golfing. Okay. But I didn't know specifics. Right? I didn't know specifics. Actually, I had 4 people, actually. So, I've now found out specifics of that stuff. And what I found out was, it was the Ravens game, but there was a reason behind this whole thing. And what I mean by this is this. From what I understand, Tua Tagovailoa did not take a single offensive rep all week, and he was told the week prior he would not be starting against the Baltimore Ravens. So this is why when you watch the game, if you'll notice the game, he didn't even have his eye paint on. Remember, if you go back and watch the live stream, I pointed out how Tua didn't have his eye paint on. Right? I was like, oh, that's weird. You know what I mean? And apparently this is what the extent it was too. And I've had multiple people verify this. What happened was, no reps. He was told, you're not playing next week. And so he went and played golf with Cameron Wolf before the game. And it was to send a message to the Miami Dolphins coaching staff and management that I'm healthy enough to play, because I can go play golf. This is why he never did it on any other game day since he started golfing, and this is the one game day he did. That's why this went down. He was sick and tired of it. And I mean, again, if you go back and you look into it and you remember, you start if you go back and you find the tweets, and I mentioned it, if you guys remember, Tua was emotional when he was told after warmups that he wasn't going. They verified even further, you're not starting tonight. Remember, I believe it was JoeyShotz or one of those media reporters mentioned that. So what he did, and this is again another layer to how sour his and Flores' relationship was. It was basically like, you already know what I'm about to say. It was basically an I'm good to go. Why aren't y'all playing me? It's a competitor. He wanted to play. And then he comes in at half and he wins the game. And that added another layer of resentment from Flores. See, Flores was pissed when it got back to him. He was further pissed. He got the message, but it didn't resonate of, okay, this kid's healthy enough, let's go. It resonated with like, yo, who the fuck does this kid think he is type thing. And so then what happened? Then he has to turn to Tua at halftime because Jacoby's an absolute joke. And boom, Tua comes out, performs well, seals the dub. And now it's another layer of, this kid makes me look like an idiot by going and golfing. See, Flores wasn't the only one who got that message. You guys are like, remember, that would have gotten to Ross, that would have gotten to Garfinkel, that would have gotten to Greer. All those guys now were like, what is this guy doing? We know this guy's healthy enough to go play a full 18 with Cam Wolf. Why are you holding him out? Explain to us. Flores had explaining. So now he's made Flores look like an idiot to everyone involved. And now you got to turn to him at halftime. He comes in, plays well, steals a W, makes you look like an idiot even further. That just compounded it for Brian Flores. And hey, we can talk about whether that was the right way for Tua to go about it. You can talk about whatever. Some people might even go ahead and call it petty. But he was right. The kid was right. He might not have gone. I might not have gone about it the way he did, but he was right. When you're right, you're right. I don't know what else to tell you. He was right. I'm not, as far as I'm concerned, the guy went and played 18, came in when he was told multiple times from the week before all the way up to the right before the first snap of the game, you're not playing. He still came in, performed at a decently high level, and beat the freaking Baltimore Ravens. Are we really going to complain right now? If anything, we should applaud the fucking effort, I think. I mean, tip my hat to you, good sir. Not many people can do that. I'm just saying. I gotta, give two of the old, there you go, bud. Not many are going out and back 18, then go and beating Lamar Jackson's Baltimore Ravens with only 2 quarters because Jacoby ain't getting it done. You did. And the thing is, too, remember in warmups, Williams right. Remember in warmups, Tua looked good. Remember the footage was hitting Twitter of how good he looked in warmups, and they still benched him. So people need to realize he did that to send a message. And last I checked, Flores is gone. 2 is still remaining. Looks like the message got received to the higher ups. I don't know what else to say. I'm going to defend the kid on this one because he was right. Now, people can disagree on how we went about on doing it. But if you're going to tell me a week before, he should have never been on IR. I've told you guys this before. I heard he was good to go against the Colts. I heard he was good to go against Indy. But they did the little Flores did a little IR thing. That's what I heard. He was good to go against Indy. And guess what? If we had Tua, we win that game. And I've actually said that on the show a long time ago. I've said that multiple times. I've said that a long time ago. See, some people pick it up. Other people probably don't. But I've said that before. Just like I've told y'all, I knew he was I've said this before. I knew he was golfing while he was on IR. And I didn't tell y'all that to brag that I knew it. I tell y'all that's how I knew he was healthy enough to go. Guys, remember, year 1 against the Jets with the finger injury. Don't y'all remember how Tua was super emotional because Tua was good to go and Flores benched him anyways for Fitzpatrick? People forget that. People forget that one too. I don't know why. But I'm just telling you guys, man. It's it was just all another layer to the Brian Flores and Tua Tagovailoa relationship souring. I mean, I'd been telling y'all since last summer. It was not. Remember, I mean, that quote didn't start going around this community until I started using it regarding Brian Flores and saying it ain't all sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows like you guys all think it is. No one wanted to believe me. No one wanted to hear it. No one wanted nothing to do with it. He's the best coach. We've had since Don Shula. All summer I heard that when I started getting plugged in and really starting hearing things and how this guy was moving. And now we hear stories about players walking in the hallways during the Flores regime, and they didn't want to even raise their head and say hi to people because of the energy and the culture in the building. Like, stop right now. Jalen Phillips out here seeing a confidence coach because they didn't know how to properly handle him, and they almost shot it before he started producing and breaking through on field, and then they still mess with his snap count. So I'm just saying, man, like, people need to realize one thing here. You know, Tua was just sending a message. I'm healthy. I should be starting, not Jacoby Brissett. And was he wrong? Someone tell me where he was wrong. Because let's be honest with you. I know he was good to go against the Texans as well. And if Tyrod Taylor did not have the worst game because he dominated the Dolphins up until that point. If Tyrod Taylor didn't have the worst game he ever had as an NFL quarterback against the Miami Dolphins, guess what? Jacoby would have lost against the Texans too, and we would have finished 8-9. That's literally like, and it was just to prove a point. Like, I go back to Lynn Bowden. Remember when I told you guys about Lynn Bowden? Lynn Bowden, when he got that soft tissue injury, he was put on IR because he was training with Perform. They basically said, you should have been training with us. You should have gotten in the building with us. That wouldn't have happened because you would have had our high-quality training staff. Yet, he had only been working with Perform for like 2 weeks. And they had already reprimanded him for that article last year when he gave you guys the ins and outs of what went down with the Raiders situation. I don't think you guys understand. Like, Preston Williams, people kept asking me all year, why is Preston Williams not started? Why do I see him out there, but they're not using him? Like, why is he on limited snap count, but, he's healthy? And I didn't have an answer all season. When the Flores regime left, I got my answer. It was because his agent went on Twitter and told everyone he was healthy and good to go. He got called into Brian Flores' office. Brian Flores did the whole Bill Belichick thing. You're giving the other teams a competitive advantage, made him delete the tweet, made a big deal, and they punished the player because of it. Like, this is like kindergarten bullshit. And that's what was going on this team. It's ridiculous. Like, when you actually think about this, the culture, who the hell would want to come and work in that environment? Who the hell? And you know what? I told all y'all, I was the first one to report to you what was going on. I told you guys after the Tennessee game, there's a player and a coach had a big blowout after the game. I didn't give you guys specifics. And as soon as they fired Flores, I told you exactly who it was and what went down with Tua. So I was the first one to report that shit as well. And it took Tua, the young kid, finally stepping up and saying, yo, enough of you, bud. Enough of you. And now people want to question he's a leader? Tua was the one who stood up and said, you can't talk to people like this. And now we've seen how he was talking to people, not just Tua. Tua was sticking up for everyone Flores had done wrong. And now who's one of Tua's tightest boy? Lynn Bowden, who Flores kept giving the shaft to. It's revenge season, man. Flores going to look back and regret how he played these hands, man. I'm telling you right now. McDaniel and this staff are going to turn everything around. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to get us over that hump of getting into the playoffs. Because this stuff ain't going to... Well, why did he only do it one time? Why wasn't he constantly doing it? It's because he was sending a message to Brian Flores and the whole organization that I am healthy enough to play. Why am I not playing tonight? Why did they tell me last week I'm not playing when I was healthy last week to play? That's what it's all about, man. That's literally what it's all about. Like, and I had 2 people give me vague details months and months ago, and I had a couple people give me very detailed details, recently about this. I didn't think this was going to be this big of a deal because I thought people would figure it out. But I got to come out and I got to clear the air on this and let people know what the real deal is. And that's fine. I'll do it. But that is the truth about Tua Tagovailoa playing golf on game day. It wasn't work ethic or preparation based. It was to show everyone I'm healthy. I should be playing right now. And then what did he do? Came in at half and showed the world he should have started the game. Think about how you felt after that game, and now listen to what I just told you. That should piss you off. Because you know what? We would have blown the Ravens out even more. That was a close game, and they were only in the game because of incompetence from Brian Flores. Period. Well, a guy who lost us the Falcons game, Brian Flores. Okay. Period. Tua dug himself out of the interceptions, and the last time he touched the ball, he left the field with the lead. I don't want to hear nothing. Okay? Especially when this is supposed to be defense, and that's this guy's bread and butter, Brian Flores. He lost us the Jacksonville game. Same way. Final minutes. And I'll go even further. Put every Jacoby Brissett loss on his ass too, because that was his guy, and that's who he wanted to back up. And to the point where he was holding 2 out of games when he was fully healthy, ready to go. But he got the audacity to try and look like we were trying to throw games. Buddy, I ain't denying you. I'm sure Ross offered you money to lose games for a better draft position. But from what I've just laid out between Brissett, between you holding 2 out, Tua, the only quarterback you have a winning record in the NFL with. The only guy. The only one. He's the one you're holding out to prove a point. So really, who's trying to lose games? Clown. Absolute clown show. All because you put your ego first, like you're Bill Belichick or like you're Matt Patricia. Absolute joke, man. Really don't know what else to say. And that ain't even a rant, just mad about how Tua was treated. Dude, that's the whole team. You put the whole... Listen, when you don't start the right guy at quarterback between Jacoby Brissett and Tua, you're putting the whole team in a position to lose, not a single player. You're putting all 53 in a position to take the L. So that ain't even just about Tua. That's about the whole team, and you not doing proper justice to the whole team. It's an embarrassment as a head coach. When you actually think about it, the guy's a fucking embarrassment. I told y'all last summer, and I'll tell y'all again, he was a glorified defensive coordinator. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And you know what? When Tua pops off, when this offense takes off, when we win a playoff game under this regime, man, sure, let's celebrate all the individual accolades of the Waddles and the Hills and the Tuas. If it happens, cool. But I want everyone to remember he couldn't get us over the hump because he put his ego before the team and the best interest of the team, and it cost us games. And we should have been in the playoffs last year. If this guy would have done his job properly, this team would have been in the playoffs last year. And with the way we ended the season, you know what? I know Tennessee beat the shit out of us, but man, at least we would have had better than a snowball chance in hell. Because you never know. Any given Sunday. The guy cost himself and this team playoff spots because he cared more about stroking his own ego. Unbelievable. Absolute joke. Honestly. And I get pissed when I think about it because we all lost out. All of us, all of you in the chat, all of you on Twitter, all of you on YouTube, all of you on Facebook, we all lost out. We lost out on seeing this team in the playoffs. Even if they got their ass handed to them in round one, at least we got there. But instead, we all lost out because someone put his ego before this. Before the logo, which matters more than any name on any back of the jersey, minus Marino, Zonka, etc. The guys on the Ring of Honor that have earned it. Unbelievable, man. It pisses me off. Because we shouldn't have this playoff drought. It should have been ended last year. Real talk, man. I'm not saying we would have beat the Bucks, but we would have beat the Colts with Tua. And we should have beat the Falcons, and we should have beat the Jaguars. Tua left the field with the lead against the Falcons. Against the Jaguars, why was that the only game where Trevor Lawrence had over 300 yards passing and looked like a first overall pick was against our elite defense, which was anything but the first half of the season because Flores couldn't get his head out of his ass on that. Unbelievable. The guy let us down on defense for the first half of the season, plus the guy was playing hot potato with the quarterback position and putting our whole team in a lesser of a position to win games. All because of his fucking ego. Unreal. Unbelievable. And people will still defend him. People will still defend him. You want to defend the allegations? Go ahead. But don't defend what he did as a head coach of the Miami Dolphins and what he on the field and what he did in that building to our culture and the overall vibe in that building. Because he murdered it. Period. You can't tell me any different. Guy was a grade A clown. Seriously. And it goes beyond Tua. Phillips. Lynn Bowden. Etc., etc. Why do you... Now do we understand why Kyle Van Noy said, yeah, I ain't restructuring for you, bro. I ain't helping you out. Now do we understand why Kyle Van Noy? We all castrated the guy, but now do we have a little understanding of him? Because I got to apologize. Because, hey, this is a public apology. Kyle, I was wrong. You were right. I apologize for anything I said when you left the way you did. I understand why you did. If I would have known, guess what, Kyle? I would have held the door open for you and drove you to the fucking airport, okay? If I would have known what I know now and what I knew last summer after you had left, I would have drove you right to the airport, bud. Seriously. All of it makes sense now. Guy was a smart defensive mind, but he was a toxic individual. Just like I tell you, do I believe the allegations he made? Yes. But I also believe he's a grade A asshole. Both can be true. I've been trying to tell you guys this. I believe the allegations he made. But I believe he's also a grade A asshole. Sorry. Not every person is a good person in this world. Especially in a league and in the industry of head coaching, which is cultivated on ego. Like, you have to have an ego to survive and make it that far. You just have to. You know what I mean? You have to have some sort of an ego, but just other people are, you know what I mean? Like, there's other people who are like, there's people who are egotistical, but there's also people, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not cocky, they're confident, you know? So, like, there's different breeds of how people carry their ego. It's just, all these guys are cut from the Bill Belichick cloth, and they all end up being the same damn thing. Look at Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs didn't get tendered for his 5th-year option. Why? Because Josh McDaniels, Bill Belichick, oh, we don't pay running backs. Okay. Knock yourself out. I like Zamir White. Josh Jacobs proven at this level, though. But all right. Knock yourself out. All right. Can't wait to hear what goes down in Vegas in a couple years. Really can't. So, hey, that's what I got to say on that. It is what it is. From what I know, Tua Tagovailoa golfed before the Ravens game. And the reason why he golfed before the Ravens game was to send a message because he was told the week before the Ravens game, you will not be starting, that he was not allowed a single offensive rep all week leading up to that Thursday night game. And he sent a message to not just Flores, but the whole organization that I'm healthy enough to start right now. Why am I not starting? And guess what? Look at how it played out for Flores. From top to bottom, guess what? The message was received. Flores got pissed off that he did it, then got pissed off that he turned to Tua, and Tua won the game. But guess what? Greer, Ross, Garfinkel, they all turned to Flores and they said, why wasn't he starting to begin with? You don't think they sat Tua down after and found out, yeah, I've been good to go since the Colts game. If I knew Tua was good to go since the Colts game, you think they don't know now that he was good to go by the Colts game? See, this is why they stuck with Tua and they gave him the leniency. Now you guys are starting to get a little bit of peel back the onion and get some answers as to why they're like, hold on. This kid wasn't put in the best position here. From personnel on field to personnel on the coaching staff, now you're starting to understand things a little bit. So, shout out to Dougley in the comment section. Is playing the show, bro. The new one, I haven't copped the new one. I had last year's. I haven't got the new one yet. I looked at the IGN reviews of the show and it sent me off because they gave it a worse review than what it was last year. Dougley, bro, let me know if that's good, man. Right now I'm playing NHL. But that's what that's what I've been told about this situation. That's what I know about this situation. Again, I'm telling you guys what I know. And I'm going to ask you guys, was he wrong? And I'm not asking that in the sense of how he went about doing it. Was he wrong in terms of the message he sent? Was he healthy enough to play? Looks like he was because he looked a lot better than Jacoby Brissett against the Ravens. So was he wrong? You know? So that's where I'm at with it, man. I ain't I'm not going to hold it against the kid. We can all have our disagreement on how he might have went about and sent that message, but clearly people weren't listening and he had to do something to show people and to prove to people, yeah, that I'm good to go. So it is what it is, man. Other news here that broke tonight. Well, not really broke, but Sony Michel, guys. Former first-round Patriot running back Sony Michel visited with the Dolphins today and is set to visit with the Saints later this week. Multiple teams looking for an offensive weapon post-draft. I actually like this potential addition if they can get him. Low cost, potential high reward. Add him to that. I think that would push out. I got a feeling, I had this conversation with EM. I got a bad feeling for Gaskin. You know what I mean? I really do. You look at their first move when the regime took over, they tendered Salvin Ahmed. How many running backs are they going to carry? You know what I mean? So I think if Sony can get back and be used in a proper rotation, which the idea of Sony Michel under this coaching staff kind of excites me because I think we will get the guy that New England thought they had with that playoff run. I think you would see that a little bit more under the guise of our current coaching staff. So, that's kind of intriguing to me. You know what I mean? Just to get the body in camp and to see how it work out. That does intrigue me a little bit. Potentially adding Sony Michel to the backfield. That's kind of interesting to me. I like that a little bit. So, I mean, and hey, Sony's a good player when he's going, when he's healthy. I mean, he's a good player, guys. He is a good player, and I know he's always been used in rotations. But and I wouldn't expect any difference, here. But this is a guy who, again, drafted in the first round. It's something the New England Patriots barely ever do. You know what I mean? Had 1,200 yards in his rookie year with 12 touchdowns. He's had 2 900+ yard seasons beyond that. So he had over 900 yards with LA quietly last year. He had 973 yards in the 2019 season. So, he's productive. And there's obviously some tread on the tires. He's only 27. Obviously another Georgia product, so why not take a swing? I mean, what do you really have to lose? 4.54 speed adds a little bit of a drop your shoulder pad element to us. And the other thing he can do is he can catch the football out of the backfield if you give him the chance. I mean, he's not going to kill you out of the backfield. I mean, I know his highest in 2020, he averaged like 16.3 yards per reception. Other than that, he's like a 7.5 yard per reception kind of guy. But he offers you that ability too. He can catch out of the backfield. His hands aren't bad. You know what I mean? It's just other guys were better utilized over with the Patriots than Sony Michel was catching footballs out of the backfield. And he's a bit of a bigger guy too, 5'11", 215. Add that to the room. Add some bulk. If we go in with Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Sony Michel, and then, a Myles Gaskin or Salvin Ahmed with the last spot, and then Zaquandre White on the practice squad, I like that, because there's a good chance, we've got injury history in that backfield. So adding a guy like Sony Michel makes a lot of sense to me if you can, and get him on the cheap, man. Don't let him go to the Saints. The Saints will know how to use him. Pyro wants Carlos Dunlap. I'm down for Carlos Dunlap. I want Akeem Hicks. If I want Akeem Hicks because I can move him inside or at end. The versatility you can use with Akeem Hicks. I know he's not the same player he was, but the versatility is there. But I wouldn't be mad with Carlos Dunlap. But they haven't interviewed Carlos Dunlap. They interviewed Akeem Hicks. All right. Furthermore, let's go on. Well, I mean, we're talking about visits, right? So there's a couple of little things I wanted to show you here before we get into some interesting things about the media availabilities today that I wanted to go over. Guys, interesting thing here. Christian Wilkins, he's happy with the 50-year option, and I've heard they're trying to still hammer something out. They wanted something done before the May 2nd deadline, both sides, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But Christian Wilkins, he was pleased that the Dolphins exercised that 10.7 50-year option. I mean, you're getting $10.5 million. I'd be happy too. He declined to discuss the possibility of a long-term contract. He'll earn $2.6 million this season. And he says he's still as frugal as he can be. I think they're going to I've been told Christian Wilkins is going to get done. All right. I've been told he's going to get done. So, interesting thing. I don't know if I've told you guys this, but from what I've heard too, they tried to get Ogba done last year. And actually the Jerome Baker deal was the baseline of what the Ogba deal was. And Drew Rosenhaus basically said, no, we're going to bet on ourselves. And I think this is the thing where, Wilkins going to bet on himself. You're going to get it done and you're going to go get money. Every year we've asked him to take a step. He has. So the Dolphins will not play any international games this season. Thank God. The international schedule announced Wednesday. Remember, May 12th, release schedule. They'll be releasing the NFL schedule, so we'll be live for that. Wednesday will be Minnesota, New Orleans on October 2nd in London. New York, Green Bay on October 9th in London. Denver, Jacksonville on October 30th in London. And then Seattle, Tampa Bay on November 13th in Munich. And San Francisco, Arizona on November 21st in Mexico City. And also, this is what I was segueing earlier. In addition to signing 14 undrafted rookies, UDFAs, the Dolphins reportedly have invited a slew of undrafted rookies to attend their May 7 to 8 rookie minicamp on a trial basis. That group, according to various reports, includes Liberty offensive man Tristan Schultz, Tennessee State defensive back Corey Ramon, UTEP running back Cordarez Wadley, FIU receiver Bryce Singleton, Rutgers defensive end Michael Teverdov, Um, Rutgers linebacker Tyshawn Fogg, Iowa State safety Greg Ellsworth, and Virginia State safety Will Adams. Teams occasionally sign a player who tries out for them in rookie minicamp. So the Dolphins are up against a 90-man offseason roster limit, but can cut players to add different ones. So, I mean, geez, like, look at the UDFAs they're bringing in. They've already brought in 14. Now they're bringing in like another 8. We're at like 20 plus UDFAs at rookie minicamp. It's gonna be a packed house. Good God. And I do think some of these guys, like I've said before, I think Zaquandre White makes a team. I think Verone McKinley makes a team. You know, I think Kellen Deesh, who y'all know I love, he's good. I think he's going to make the team. I think Braylon Sanders has a good shot to make the team too. The other receiver, freak athlete, at least practice squad stash too. So, going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait for training camp. Going to be a lot of battles I'm interested in seeing. I can't wait to get down there this year, man. I really can't wait to get down there for training camp this year. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a real good time. But there's also going to be a lot of battles that are going to be worth keeping your eye on, which is always interesting, always interesting. So, and it always makes training camp interesting, adding another layer. Gotta love it. Jevon Holland, he's motivated, guys. Going to the Pro Bowl this last offseason with X and stuff. Yeah, his arm length is a problem, Doug, with Kellen Deesh, but like he's got good quick recovery ability, fleet of foot. He's really light on his feet. You know what I mean? Like he's way more athletic than Eichenberg was. Like he's got all the traits you would want if you have length issues to make up for it. Center, that'd be interesting. He's only ever played left tackle. I think honestly he can become a swing tackle. I think he could, if you want, I would put him in the right tackle competition and see what happens. That's just me. Yeah, the wide receiver 4 battle between Bowden and Isakama is going to be pretty cool too. So Jevon Holland felt super motivated at the Pro Bowler, and it could be his next stop. Just a few weeks after his rookie season concluded, Dolphins safety Jevon Holland was in Las Vegas, the home of the 2022 Pro Bowl. For Holland, who spent the week helping the Dolphins website create content, it was an opportunity to soak in wisdom from cornerback Xavier Howard and some of the NFL's best players. It was a great experience. I felt super motivated, Holland said Wednesday. That was one of the best moments for me being a young player. As a competitor, really, to see those guys out there like, man, this is a goal. This is what I want to get to. And he should have been there last year. One encounter particularly left Holland taken aback. He introduced himself to cornerback Joe Hayden, stud, and was surprised the 3-time Pro Bowler already knew who he was. I'm Jevon Holland, but that's Joe Hayden, Holland said. Do you know how many pairs of Jordan cleats Hayden is signed? Do you know how many pairs of Jordan cleats, because Hayden is signed to the Jordan brand he has? That alone blew my mind. I told my dad that same thing and my brother too. By the way, shout out. I got a shout out right here. Shout out for the $10 donation from the homie Mems. Appreciate you for always holding me down, always supporting the channel, man. I appreciate you, dog. Holland has the attention of his peers in the NFL, and if his second season builds off his standout rookie year, he's well on his way to being a household name in the league. After taking over the starting role at free safety, Holland helped turn around a defense and team that got off to a sluggish start. In 16 games and 13 starts, Holland recorded 69 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 10 pass breakups, earning Pro Football Writers of America All-Rookie Team honors. And remember, the year before that, Raekwon Davis made the Pro Football Writers of America All-Rookie Team the year before. So 2 straight years. That's pretty good. I was in an unknown environment, Holland said of his rookie year. I was really nervous about everything. I'd never been to Florida before. By the hotel we were staying at, there was like a little lake, and I went jogging by the lake, and there was a frog, but I'm thinking there's an alligator everywhere. So I start tripping and running back to my room. But now I'm cool. I'm comfortable. I like being here. I love Florida, the sun, sky, all that. I was definitely nervous being here. It's the NFL. I was shaking in my boots, for lack of better terms, but now I feel way better. If Holland was out of sorts early on, it was hard to tell. Coaches praised his attention to detail and found snaps for the 2021 second-round picks early. When veteran Jason McCourty sustained a season-ending injury in Week 4, Holland was elevated to a full-time role. His versatility playing deep in coverage and closer to the line of scrimmage was a key part of the defense's resurgence in the second half of the season. With Josh Boyer staying as defensive coordinator and several of last season's assistants being retained, the continuity is expected to aid a defense that finished last year as one of the league's best. I think it's very important, Holland said. It's carryover from last year. It's a familiar face. You're going to have a similar scheme to how Boyer likes it. And the defense understands how he functions, and we work well together. You guys saw that at the end of the season. So I think it's going to be great for our team, for our defense also. Boyer has said much of the defense will stay the same, but he'll tap into his roots as a defensive backs coach to bring his vision for the unit to life. It's still unclear exactly what that means for 2022, but it could potentially result in even more roles for Holland. If so, those around him believe he's more than ready for the added responsibilities. Jevon has a chance to be pretty good in this league, Christian Wilkins said. Just how he comes into work each and every day, that was the biggest thing that I learned. And he even took a year off of ball before he got drafted and everything, and still came in ready to play and was able to do some really good things for us early on. It's just impressive to watch. He's athletic, he's big, and he's something that surprised me more than anything is how cerebral he is back there. Cerebral assassin like Tua, baby. Making the calls, doing some of the things you have to do at the safety position in our defense was really impressive. Well, also having guys like, I don't know, Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, they help a ton, man. Help a ton. You don't got to worry about them. He's kind of a kid who just loves playing ball too, so it's fun to watch. He just brings that nice young spirit too. He's a good teammate. Man, I love Jevon Holland. Man, Jevon Holland, Pro Bowl, guys, I see all pro in his future. Let's not just talk about Pro Bowl here. I see an all pro in his future. All right, let's call it what it really is. All right, he's about to be a perennial all-pro. This guy, I've told y'all, man, this man, I see shades of like Paul Amalu and Ed Reed when I look at this guy. Jevon Holland's that dude, and I've been telling y'all, whoever wanted to listen to me, I've been telling y'all since 2020 that dude, and now we've seen it firsthand as Dolphin fans, and I love that I get to see him turn into this great professional in our colors, and we all get to benefit from him becoming something potentially great. I love it, man. All right, finally here, Michael Deiter, guys. Michael Deiter is the center of attention on the Dolphins rebuilt O-line. Yeah, think about it. Everyone's stressing the competition for center, but they ain't stressing it with Jackson and Eichenberg. Tells you, you'd think Eichenberg and Jackson need some more, but oh. Michael Deiter has technically never earned a starting spot with the Miami Dolphins. In his rookie season, his status as a 2019 third-round draft pick got the former Wisconsin standout elevated up the depth chart quicker than he deserved, got a offensive line coach fired because he said he wasn't ready, placed into the starting lineup as a left guard before he was ready, and that forced promotion led to his position coach, Pat Flaherty, being fired 1 week into training camp, a day after he said Deiter wasn't ready. Deiter struggled as a starter that offseason for seemingly the worst line in franchise history and was subsequently replaced in the offseason with draftees and moved to center, where he sat and watched for all but one game of his second season. Fast forward to 2021 season, the Miami-led veteran Ted Karras leave as a free agent, signed veteran Matt Skura, but didn't let him compete with Deiter for the center spot during training camp. Skura got cut at the end of camp, and remember, he ended up being a starting left guard next to Andrew Thomas and having some good reps. Just like what's his face? Guys, remind me. Who was the right tackle we had from New England? We let him dip, and he went to the Raiders, and he was popping off. His name's slipping my tongue. I know y'all are gonna know it in the comment section. It was a dude we had. He was a right guard and a right tackle, and then he went to Las Vegas, and he ended up popping off a little bit. Anyways, Skura got caught, and then Miami traded for Greg Mance to serve as a backup. Yeah, Jermaine Illuminor, that's who it was. Thanks, guys. Deiter started the first 3 games of the season before suffering a foot and calf injury that sidelined him for 9 weeks. In that time, the Dolphins needed to use 3 centers just to make it through Deiter's absence. And Miami coaches later acknowledged the lackluster play from the center position was holding the offense back. Just speaking on Illuminor and Skura for a minute. Remember how I used that as a further indictment of Lemuel Jean-Pierre wasn't ready to be a positional coach when we had legitimate veterans under our nose who we cut and they went and performed for other teams when we had a historically bad offensive line last year? You know, and now Omar is basically telling us, well, they didn't really let any of them compete with Deiter. They handed him the job. When Deiter returned for the final 5 games of 2021, he delivered an uninspiring performance of yet another disappointing Dolphins offensive line. Again, remember when Greg Mance came in, guys, remember how I was pointing, we started installing the silent counts more. Deiter wasn't really paying up. And then when Deiter came back, the silent counts went more towards a guard responsibility, right? That is the story arc of Deiter's NFL career. I'm excited that I have a chance to come out here and compete and play for the Dolphins another year. That's all I can focus on, Deiter said following Wednesday's training session. I just need to get ready to compete again this year. But with who? If the Dolphins rebuild offensive line fails yet again, I put my money on center being the reason why. And that's because Deiter hasn't proved he's an NFL starter yet. I've told you all this. You know, him and right tackle, yeah, they're holes. But right now we're hoping we can just get competent level from either one. You know, I think you might get competent more from I don't know. It's dangerous. I would have drafted a center. And what's troubling is that the Dolphins haven't added any legitimate competition for Deiter this offseason. Not in free agency, not in last week's draft. It's not too late to do so, considering some quality centers are still available as free agents, many of which will likely continue to search for work until training camp opens in late July. But that would be what would be the harm in adding a player like JC Treader now, giving the 31-year-old equal the time to learn the new offense and forcing Deiter to outperform the 8-year veteran who has started 90 games and was the leader for one of the NFL's best run blocking offensive line for the past 4 seasons. And I've explained to you what the problem is. The issue is they sniffed around. He wants big market money for the center. He's not willing to budge right now. And his knees are at a point where he wasn't practicing. He was just suiting up for game day. And that's why no one wants to commit the big money. Now, if he's willing to come down, I think a lot of teams, including the Dolphins, will be willing to play ball. Anyways, continuing on. There is none, yet general manager Chris Year hasn't done it yet. Just because the draft is over doesn't mean we aren't going to stop looking to improve the roster, Greer said last week. We'll keep working through all spring and through the summer. Maybe the plan is to move another lineman, Solomon Kinley, Robert Jones, Liam Eichenberger, Greg Little, to center like Miami did with Deiter 2 years ago, and have them battle it out. Maybe the Dolphins are just being hush-hush about the master plan or how the experimentation is going on. Let's hope that that's the best case scenario. Let's hope that's the case because I find it problematic that Deiter's the only person on Miami's roster that doesn't have a legitimate backup, and the only player outside of Tua Tagovailoa who seemingly has been gifted his starting spot again. That can't be a wise approach, even with a new coaching staff. Miami shouldn't be waiting until they see these offensive linemen in pads before concluding we have a problem, like they did last year in training camp when they traded for Greg Little and Greg Mance before the regular season started. Has Greer not whiffed enough while trying to rebuild the offensive line? I mean, come on. He just signed Connor Williams and Terran Armstead. I mean, are we talking about whiffs here, or are we talking about Flores' input and his staff's input that led us astray? That would not be the right approach considering his recent track record with offensive linemen in, regards to Greer proving he wasn't wrong about his initial evaluation of Deiter. I don't think that's it at all. I'd be hedging my bets at center if I were the Dolphins. If Deiter's going to be the 2022 starter at that important position, let's hope it's a role he actually earns. I agree there should be legitimate position for there. It's the quarterback of the offensive line. Everyone knows how important I think that position is. I agree there should be competition there. 110%. I don't think Ty Clary is going to scare anyone or be real competition. Maybe they're waiting for someone to get cut and brought in. There's a multitude of things. I think they're going to bring someone in. They've talked about it too much, where if they don't bring in legitimate competition, they're going to get asked about it a ton if he starts to fail. That's just what it is. All right, guys, here's what the deal. I appreciate all of you for coming in. We had over 400 as I'm closing in on 12 a.m. I'm gonna get out of here. It's almost 12 o'clock. I don't want to run this too late because I know everyone got to work tomorrow. I'm gonna be back on Friday for the prospect preview regarding Channing Tindall. If some of y'all want to come backstage and chop it up, I'm gonna drop the link for y'all. But guys, here's the deal. I'm gonna be back on Friday. Channing Tindall prospect preview. Plus, we'll go all over the latest news and rumors and everything regarding the Dolphins, everything going on. But I appreciate all of y'all spending some of your late night. I hope you enjoyed your Miami Heat victory. But guys, I will see all of y'all on Friday. If anything breaks tomorrow, you know I'll be back. But the idea is I'll see all y'all on Friday. We'll be diving pretty deep into Channing Tindall, some all 22, extensive review of the player. Until next time, y'all already know what time it is, baby. Fins up all day, every day. I will see all y'all on the next one. Peace, everyone.